Just going to go live. Here we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's goal setting session. It's going to be very exciting. Okay, we should be set in all the realms of which we need to be set. It's very interesting. You know, when you try something new, it's new, right? It's hard. It's kind of like walking for the first time. You get up and you stumble and you fall, still falling. However, it does seem to be getting a little bit easier and a little bit more natural, getting onto these platforms each day to be able to show up to support you and hold each other accountable to accomplishing the goals that we're set out to accomplish. So this session is for revenue generating professionals or professionals in general that work with people that have and can benefit from setting goals for themselves each day. For the purpose of this session, if your livelihood depends on your ability to perform, this is for you. So that being said, I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's 7:45, now 7:47 a.m. PST. We will be coming live. In fact, today I'm going to be adding on another session, so 4:45 today. So the ideal here, but I'm building into it because if you try to bite off too much at one time, sometimes we fail, and I did not want to do that. So for the next coming months, my goal is to go live 5 times a day, 15 minutes each, to be able to help set the mindset and mindfulness session in the morning, 7:45 goal setting, really getting alignment, clear-headed, purposeful, clarity around what we're trying to do and accomplish for the day. At 12:45, we are now going to have a afternoon reset where we can reflect quickly on what it was that we accomplished, how much more we have to do, and then do some energy type work exercises to be able to really feel like, yes, okay, we're ready for the next few hours, the last little leg of the day. And then at 4:45, we will be meeting for 15 minutes to reflect on how well did we do? Were we on track? Where could we have gone, done differently? And I'm thinking 8 p.m. Let me know if that's not quite the time. Excuse me. To be able to kick off our final hour of the day where we reflect and we start to really prepare. Again, I'm going to play with that evening time. Today, I'm going to do it at 8 p.m. Where we can reflect, fill out the Empower Day Planner, and really see how well we executed for the day, and then start to prepare for the next day, because proper preparation prevents poor performance. So that way we can get up and just hit the ground running without having to pre-think, etc. This weekend I had food prep for the day, and I was just so excited because one of the recipes I did was this turkey egg tortilla, ground turkey prepared, and then a sauce that was avocado, cottage cheese, a little bit of jalapeno. And in between, I was able to, in about literally less than 5 minutes, have this amazing breakfast prepared. So there is something to be said for on Sundays, or depending on what part of the world you're in, Saturday, but on Sundays, prepping, getting yourself ready for the week, because man, it just makes it go by so much more efficiently, and you can save a lot of time if you just put some thought in initially. So at the end of the day, if you really think through your tomorrow, you have already relayed out your goals at the end of the actual workday for what you want to accomplish in your work, but then overall reflection on who you want to, how you showed up, you know, what did you learn, these types of things is also really important because that which gets measured can get improved. And when you are not really thinking about what it is that you are wanting to work on, wanting to accomplish, and you just kind of go for it, it doesn't mean you're always acting as intentionally as one could, which means maybe we missed the boat in some cases, and we're just trying not to do that. So that being said, let's lay out this idea of like what it is that we want to accomplish for today. So for us and our team, we are working on, and if you need help with this, I would highly recommend, and I maybe could even do a session, but you know, some people use AI, some people are excited about it, some people don't love it at all. I feel like AI is an incredible tool to be able to get really great ideas. Most of us already know what it is that we're working on. We know what we need to do in order to accomplish said goals. So, but when we can put our ideas very consciously and intentionally down onto paper, then the likelihood of us actually accomplishing that is exponentially greater. So when you're able to use Claude, for one, Claude is awesome. ChatGPT, I actually go in between the two. I'll put all my ideas into Claude thoughtfully, or excuse me, into Chat thoughtfully. I'll get some ideas back. I'll decide what I like or don't like, kind of change it up, and then I'll take it over to Claude and say, hey, for example, create a 30-day social media plan. This is the details of what I'd like to include. Here are some ideas behind what we do. I need this broken down into, I created a 5-point document where I had a 30-day calendar overview, a weekly overview, a daily plan, a daily outcomes, and then what I do, what my team does, and then the weekly metrics to actually be able to, weekly and daily metrics to actually be able to follow it up. I asked it to be editable, and it produced a Google Sheets document that I'm going to be working on and modifying because, as I said, this is week 2 of going live. I'm loving it. I love being able to show up for people. What I'm recognizing is that not everybody's watching it in real time, but that ideally this can be a session you can watch later. And no matter what the time is that you're needing to, elevate or engage, or if it's just sometime throughout the day and you're thinking about, oh yeah, I got to do that. So that's basically how I created this overview of our 30-day plan. And I would challenge you to do the same. So if you're in a sales position for a company, corporate, etc., or you own your own business, or you are a part of a team and your livelihood depends on your ability to generate, then you're going to want to be very specific with your outreach, right? You're going to want to be very specific with the daily outcomes that you want to have done. So you have to think about your own strategy. And I'm going to start challenging you to think about what is your big picture? Like in your role, in your company, what you do as a founder, as a CEO, what is going to be the revenue generating activities that are going to align with the client that you're able to help or the one who you have the offer for, right? So we want to have an offer. My offer is I'll be doing workshops with revenue generating professionals to be able to optimize their life and business systems to be able to achieve said outcomes, right? And so I'm also going to be hosting events. These are two different things. But as I do my outreaches and I'm calling companies that have larger sales teams, or maybe they've got call centers, they've got sales teams, like whatever it is that I'm reaching out to, we can come together and I have a workshop for them. And then I will also be hosting for smaller teams that maybe have 1 or 2 outreaching and inviting them to come for this 1-day workshop. So you see, I have an offer. So you have an offer. And so in order to be able to get clients, what are the best platforms for you to be on? For me, I've recognized LinkedIn. Traditionally, I've not really been on LinkedIn. I think a lot of people, especially in my past life, many lives now, what it feels like ago, 4 years ago, but since then I've done events, sales, run a company, and then also done coaching, also now speaking. So there's been lots of different things in between. But as a teacher, why did you have LinkedIn? To kind of connect with people. There wasn't a full need there. But if you're a sales professional and it's an opportunity where there is loads of people who you have something they want, they have something that you want, and you can win-win together, that's a great platform. Instagram's a great platform to be able to, I'm a nomad, I'm traveling all of the time. I don't actually typically haven't really shared that life very much. Sort of recently, I recognize that that's somewhat selfish in the sense that I get so much from the people online and I have learned so much from others that in the journey itself, I feel it's now my time to get back. So I'm really going to be giving a lot more of an effort, solid effort to kind of share a lot of the systems, routines that I've been able to build and establish to be effective in that lifestyle. Traveling consistently, because even if you travel a lot for your job, it's practically being nomadic. I know people with Speakpreneur, for example, they're on the road 4 times a week. They're only at home 3. That in and of itself is a form of, needing to have these systems and routines in place so you can maintain healthier habits more consistently while on the road. So again, by me not sharing that, now at this point, I'm like, I feel I could really make a positive impact. And that could be one way to do it. And so I really want to be mindful of that. Did that go dark? I wonder if that goes dark when I'm not on. Can someone tell me if that was just blank and black for a while? Because I had gone to a different screen. But anyways, I'm learning either way. So back here. So thinking about, again, going back to outreach, thinking about your sales and follow-up system, thinking about, thank you, Ellie. Ellie, could you just see me the whole time? Also, that's my little sister, my cousin, but sister from another Mr. and Mrs. actually. But yeah, so because I would still like to click back to the other page to be able to, okay, great, thanks, Elle. Yeah, she's absolutely brilliant. She's going to be dominating goals in the next 15 months. Like, I cannot wait to see when she puts her plan together and her mind to it as she shops through her catalog of life and chooses exactly what she wants, just like I encourage everyone here to do. Develop that vision. What does that look like? Your next 12 months, but really 3 months in terms of what you can execute at a time. I listened yesterday to some sections or some clips on the 12-week work year. The main idea being typically we plan our years, but really most people are most productive the last quarter. So if you're in business, then you look at quarterly. You're not necessarily looking at a year as a whole. If you were a teacher, right, it's August to August is the school year. But if you're not in that world, it's January to December. And so when you break down your 3 months and your plans, the idea is that the goals that you would typically aim to accomplish in 1 year, how can you minimize that to accomplish it in 12 weeks? And so what that allows you to do is just stay a lot more efficient, effective, focused, and executing on what's really going to drive results rather than, what is that law? The law where you fill the amount of time. I forget. Allow me to find out real quick. This is social media in real time. What is the law that describes that you will get exactly what you need to get done in the amount of time that you give it possible? Let's see if chat knows. Is that right? Parkinson's law? Where if you give yourself 3 months, you'll accomplish it in 3 months. If you give yourself 2 hours, you'll accomplish it in 2 hours. If you give yourself 10 minutes to do something, you'll accomplish it in 10 minutes. Like amazing, when I was in high school is a perfect example. Well, we have a vocab test, man. You wouldn't even believe how fast I could, or a vocab assignment or some kind of assignment do. During that break right beforehand to bust it out, could have taken an hour or two otherwise, but you only had 15 minutes. So you got to get it done in 15 or 10 to be on time. So same concept, only different life stage for sure. So again, going back to what I'm personally working on, it's the lives completed, which will now become 5 a day. The LinkedIn text posts. So now I'm going to take what's in here and give it there in text form on LinkedIn. Video each day to be posted to LinkedIn comments. So now I actually want to start engaging because I find that it's a platform I can actually do a little bit of coaching on or contribute in some way. Outreach on DMs, Instagram Reel, Instagram Stories, just kind of share some of the background scenes, some of the things that I'm up to. One YouTube, 2 a week to YouTube, and then booked conversations, that's unknown, and then top 3 revenue tasks, that is whatever I've chosen for the day. So the same thing for you. So at the end of each day, tracking your metrics, you have to say what this is for you. Maybe your goal is to, be creating a live, right? Maybe your goal is to nurture a social media page. Well, your tangible daily goals are going to be very different than mine. So you have to come up with this vision. So what are your goals? What are the action steps you need to accomplish those goals? Break that down into what are the actual outcomes you need to be able to support that. And then on a daily basis, in your routine, your morning routine, your evening routine, all setting it up, your daily routine, setting it up so that you're focused on a given block period, a very specific period of time, on how you can execute that and make sure that you're sticking to this plan. Because without a plan, you plan to fail. And although my dad said that once when my friend Alexa and I were going to cycle across the US, I was like, we have a plan. We just have to get there by September 10th, and we had left July 2nd. That was good enough of a plan. The details fill it in on the way. However, if you want to be very concise with your results, more specific details are probably going to benefit you more. So now I want you to take a minute. If you have any questions, feel free. This is the time to kind of ask. I will happily reply because I can now see with people watching this that there is a way. Hi, Connie. Thank you for your comment. And if not, I'm going to encourage you to continue with this session. It's 8 a.m. PST to go in and think through either A, what is the vision? Maybe you're not even yet to the tangible part. B, what are your goals? And then C, what do you actually need to do to accomplish them? So if you're working to accomplish those goals, the likelihood of you accomplishing them will actually happen. And then what are those very specific things? I want you to take a pen to a paper and just write it out. And then as we progress over the next weeks together, you can become a lot more aligned to what specific outcomes you need. And then you can create your own plan. Again, highly encouraging the use of AI or maybe this session, and figure out exactly what you need to do every day to accomplish it, and then stick with it. All right, this is it. Our time together is done. I will see you for a quick check-in at 12:45. Until then, remember, your life, your journey is your choice. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you imagine. Have a great day, everyone.